Let's go! Hey there, Josh here, and welcome to Hobbyist Novitiate. This time we're looking at the lore and rules for an individual unit from Legions Imperialis. Today we're looking at a tank that might as well be called Trogdor the Burninator. It's time to cover the Malcador Infernus. Grab a hot drink and a biscuit, and let's dig in. The Malcador Infernus is a variation of the popular Malcador assault tank, stripping out almost everything between the tracks and replacing it all with one gigantic flamethrower. This Inferno gun squirts promethium from a trailer pulled behind the tank into great blasts of fire that stick to anything it hits. If you want an idea of how horrifically terrifying this is, go do a Google search for archive footage of the flamethrower weapons used during World War II. This stuff is really awful. On the tabletop, the Malcador Infernus fills the battle tank detachment slot and comes in a detachment of 1 for 60 points, with additional tanks available as upgrades for another 55 points per, up to a maximum of just 3. They have an 8-inch move, 2-up save and get +1 to close assault factor, and have a 4-up morale save. Each tank has a hefty 2 wounds and comes with Chain of Command and Explorer adaptation, like the regular Malcador and Lehman Russ tanks. Things get really nasty when it comes to the main gun. The Malcador Infernus hits on a 4-up with AP -1 against infantry and cavalry. Rather than having a range and number of dice, this weapon uses the Firestorm template in the front arc, with a hit being rolled for every single model that is at least 50% covered by the template. Models that are less than 50% covered still count as viable targets on a 4-up dice roll. There are no penalties for terrain, and there is no cover. This means that when positioned right, the Malcador Infernus can target a large number of enemies with a 0.42 damage average per base targeted against something like a tactical legionary. Infantry beware. If that wasn't scary enough, the tank also comes with a sponson choice of either las cannons or autocannons, both capable of targeting completely independent of the Inferno gun. Both sponsons give you a bit more range and can either boost your lethality against infantry or give a bit of a threat to enemy vehicles too. For an extra 5 points per model, the Malcador Infernus can also be equipped with a pintle-mounted heavy stubber for some extra point defense against enemy infantry. It's pretty obvious that the Malcador Infernus is designed to be an infantry annihilator. If your opponent has infantry in any quantity, bringing one of these is sure to strike terror into their heart. The main downside for the Malcador Infernus are the points costs and the detachment size. 1 to 3 vehicles, even with 2 wounds each, is pretty easy to clear with anything that even has just a little bit of anti-tank, and can probably happen without the enemy even coming into the Malcador's threat range. For this reason, I often use mine as a patsy to protect other units. Your opponent has to target the Malcador Infernus early on, or risk losing massive amounts of infantry, and so they often do, leaving other tanks safe to advance further up the board. I do love the Malcador Infernus. The idea of turning a tank into a literal flamethrower on tracks is just so Warhammer, and the little trailer it pulls along behind is just adorable. It's not an auto-include in my list, but when I do throw one in, I get a lot of use out of it, either as my main anti-infantry or as a high-threat target that my opponent has to take care of ahead of other things. That is all for this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.